The US dollar continues to retreat while Golden Crosses and other markets confirm that a significant trend change appears to be underway in Forex. After the US election, the US dollar staged a massive rally where it just steamrolled and crushed everything in its path. It rolled through like a hurricane and just sent everything sharply lower. However, in the last few months, we've seen the US dollar start to retreat. The dollar had rallied on as part of the presidential honeymoon, this feeling that President Trump would come in, would bring in all kinds of quick reforms, would get the U.S. economy really going, that infrastructure spending would boost inflation, and that would put the pressure on the Fed to raise interest rates and to continue to raise interest rates. So on the Fed side, it still looks like they're going to raise rates probably again in June, but September is becoming questionable because that's when we're probably going to see a big budget showdown. The second thing to note is that generally speaking, the U.S. economy has started to sputter as well, and even inflation has not picked up as much as it seemed. The price of oil has kind of been steady bouncing between 45 and 55. So there's not huge inflation pressures, and at the same time, the U.S. economy has kind of been struggling. The soft data has been good, but the hard data has been pretty soft. Most notably, that 0.7% increase in Q1 GDP was extremely low. So we've got the U.S. dollar in retreat. On top of all this, we've got political turmoil in the states. A lot of it is fire and noise, but at the same time, it still distracts the president from his economic agenda, having to deal with all these other things that are going on. And because of that, I think we're starting to see the US dollar continue to come off. So if we look here at the dollar index, we've broken down below. Interestingly here, this early April peak was an evening star, and we've since then seen it come down. Breakaway gap downward. It did fill the gap, but it then turned downward again. And now we've got this breakdown below 98.40, which and so we could see the next support downward is around 97.50. But look at this also. We had the RSI more recently. When it had this rally, it did not break 50. The not breaking 50 was significant. It meant this was an upward correction with within a downtrend, which is what we got. And now we're seeing this downtrend start to accelerate again. Now, what we've been seeing with the U.S. dollar coming off is it's lifted the pressure up off of a lot of other currencies, and we're starting to see rallies. And not only have we had rallies, but now we're getting confirmation of these gains through golden crosses. So we'll start here by looking at cable. We've seen recently cable broke out over 127, finished off a huge base building channel, head and shoulders base. It's moved up to 129. It's consolidating here at a higher level. Some people might wonder, is the pound topping or pausing? Well, the golden cross here of the 50-day average up through the 200-day tells me that this is a pause within an uptrend, and at some point we could challenge 130 or higher again. The next upside resistance level for this is in and around this 130, 150 area. But look at this big base here, and for a long time below the 200-day average, first the pair and now the golden cross. Now, moving over, we want to take a look at gold. Gold is an interesting one as well because gold has been steadily recovering for quite some time. It actually looked like we could have gotten the golden cross back towards the beginning of this month. Now it looks like we ended up with a correction in gold. Now we've bounced off of 1220. We're seeing a bounce in the RSI telling us this downward pressure is easing, and now we're seeing it start to work back up. Now we may get the golden cross sooner or later, but it's in and around 1248 here, 1250. 1245 to 1250. We start to see the pair go through, and the gold go through, and the golden cross in gold would be very significant. The third one to keep an eye on is Eurodollar, which is breaking out today. Eurodollar has broken out over 110. Its next resistance is up around 111.50. But most importantly here, I'm also keeping an eye on this. Euro's been trending upwards since about the end of December, beginning of January. But look here, it's not quite there yet, but its 50-day moving average also heading for a golden cross of the 200. If we do get a golden cross here, would also be confirmation of this uptrend. So as we're seeing the US dollar roll over and start to decline, one of the best examples to show that this is more than just a correction, that this is a significant trend change, is that we're getting golden crosses in a lot of things that are trading contrary to the US dollar.